Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers is back, baby. Ow!
Also, doubt this NBA player at your own peril.
All that and more on the way next. Hey there. Thanks for joining in another episode of the RadioU Podcast. I know you just heard the intro. Don't worry, it's not all about sports. A lot of sports, but not too much. We also talk about a lot of things. I was thinking before we get to the topic of this, I was thinking maybe we should, instead of doing like an intro, we should just fact check the show that we just did.
Oh, yes. Good point. Because there was yesterday something happened that I misspoke on something.
Yeah. And then today, we did the weekend watch list talking about the new movie Ballerina from the world of John Wick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think John Wick is even in this. And then I finally watched the trailer and he actually is definitely in it.
I thought I saw a trailer where I saw a clip of Keanu Reeves in it too.
I think you're going to get I still believe you're going to get very limited Keanu Reeves, but he's definitely in it.
He's making a cameo appearance.
Yeah, but it's mostly Ana de Armas and maybe some Norman Reedus as well.
I love that Norman Reedus is in it.
But now to the topic at hand, which we asked people to send in words that are fun to say.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of good ones, and then we got more, and we got so many that we couldn't get to all of them on the show. So here's a few, Allie. Why don't you rate them?
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fun they are. Corey says superfluous.
Ooh, I'm rating 1 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'd say that's an 8. That's such a fun word.
I was definitely thinking 8 too.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Dee Dee had a great one. I can't believe I forgot this. Ramekin. Do you know what a ramekin is?
Is it a weapon?
No. A ramekin is if you go to, let's say you went to Chipotle, and you know how they have the Tabasco sauce sitting out?
Yeah.
And there's little cups that you can pour, or Five Guys for the ketchup or for the vinegar.
Yes.
The little cups. Those cups are ramekins.
Oh.
Those little tiny cups. Like if you get a condiment served on the side.
What a fun word for a little cup.
Yeah. I love
a ramekin.
The word ramekin.
That's
I'm glad Dee Dee brought that up.
I'm giving that a 9. It's so nice and pleasant to the ears.
Yeah.
Ramekin.
It definitely is. It's close to a 10.
Yeah.
It's really close. What about Kenny, who said cacophony?
Oh, a cacophony of reasons.
Yeah.
I love that word. I think I'd give that an 8 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Landon says didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo. That's obviously.
Did I redo what?
Well, it's an instrument.
Yeah.
I think that one, while it is very fun to say, you're not going to say it as much as these other words.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know where you would say ramekin that much.
When you go to a restaurant, that's about it.
Yeah, but I do think didgeridoo is probably one of the words that you're not going to say a lot because it's referring to an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'd go for like a 6 or a 7 with that one.
I'm going to start inviting people over, entertaining, having cookouts.
And playing the didgeridoo?
No, and just giving them little ramekins of mustard and ketchup for their, and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Just so I have an excuse. Like, here's a ramekin for you.
Hey, it's like season 1 of Only Murders in the Building. Dibs for dinner.
Yeah.
With ramekins.
Right.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Just so we have an excuse to say it more. Donnie said, this I love. This is maybe a 10 for me. Isosceles.
Isosceles. Oh, I haven't used this since geometry or something?
It's a kind of triangle. This one really does not come up much.
It doesn't, but it is such a great triangle. I think I would go with a 7 for that. Isosceles.
Okay. Yeah, because you don't have enough time to say it.
Well, and also you just don't use it.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
Another one on that same level. Patrick says perpendicular.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is, perpendicular is a word that I think I just use it incorrectly just so I can say it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're standing perpendicular to the microphone. I don't know if you are. I know it's some kind of it's positioning.
Yeah, but I do feel like that's.
And I'm imagining it's parallel is like if two things
are beside each other.
Yeah, so it's not that.
Yeah,
it's different than that.
Perpendicular. I feel like the two that we use the most are parallel or opposite people use all the time. Mm-hmm. Or what's the other one? Adjacent. Yeah.
Which is pretty good too.
Yeah. So
perpendicular.
Perpendicular though, that's a fun word.
What does that even
Lots
mean?
of syllables.
Yeah.
I like all the syllables. So I'd probably also give that a 7.
P sounds and K sounds, which usually make for funny words.
Yeah.
We We have malarkey.
Oh, yes. What a bunch of malarkey.
Eric said kerfluffle.
Kerfuffle?
Oh,
yeah.
it was quite the kerfuffle.
Quite the kerfuffle. I think that's always fun when it comes out as a explanation for a recent baseball or NHL brawl.
Yeah. And then did anybody say discombobulated?
No, that's a good one.
How did we all miss that?
I'm so discombobulated.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel really discombobulated.
I like that one a lot. That one might be a 9
There's
for me.
There's so many more we could go through too. And so these get so little use.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
That's the sad part about this is we're not very creative with our language anymore. I think that's what we realized as we did this whole break.
Yeah.
Was that a lot of these words are quite old and they're just not used as much in modern language anymore.
Or do you think if we use them so much, it would take away the fun? Like if we started calling pharmacies apothecaries again, would that make apothecary less fun?
Maybe, but I use this argument for people that say like the overuse can destroy something.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many times I watch Shawshank Redemption, I will still feel like it's a great movie. It doesn't take away from its greatness.
Yeah.
It just means you're too, familiar with it maybe.
Right.
But it doesn't take away from its greatness.
So if you just start working in kerfuffle and discombobulated all the time, it doesn't take away from their greatness.
No, they're still just great words.
It just gives more people a chance to recognize how great it is.
Yes.
So that's your challenge today. Use a fun word.
Yep.
Or 3. It's Radio U. It happened again. Just like Allie said it would. 8772 Radio U. If you went to bed watching the NBA Finals last night at about the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter, the Thunder were up by 15. They haven't trailed all game. The Pacers have turned the ball over a bajillion times. You're like, yeah, I think I'm pretty safe to shut my eyes on this one and wake up in the morning to a Thunder win. No, you can't do it.
Nope.
Not with the Pacers.
Nope.
Tyrese Halliburton. Not only did the Pacers come back, but it's just the story we've already seen in the playoffs a couple times this season with the Pacers, and that is they come back and Tyrese Halliburton hits, for all intents and purposes, a buzzer beater. There's 0.3 left, but I mean, that's a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
And that was enough to give the Pacers their first lead of the game, 111-110. And in that 0.3 seconds, the Thunder weren't able to get a shot off to at least make a shot. So There you have it. The Pacers are up 1-0.
Dude, what did I say? Doubt him at your own peril. Like, literally, Halliburton just has something about him right now. The confidence, the clutch factor, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. He just has something about him. Why would you even give him a chance at a second shot? He's going to make it. At this point, he's showing you again and again he's going to make it. Here's how I knew that the Thunder were going to lose this game. It was when the first few minutes. At this point of the game, the Thunder were up 10-7 over the Pacers. The Pacers are bringing up the ball. They kick it out to I think either Naismith or Nembhard in the left corner. And SGA is kind of caught in between at this point. He could either go to Nembhard or Naismith and try and defend the three, he's currently wide open for this three-pointer, or he could stay with the guy that just threw the ball. Which why would you do that? The Pacers player literally waits like several seconds. SGA doesn't even move. He just watches him, stands there and watches him, not even in defensive position, nothing. Just stands there and watches him. What does the Pacers player do? He sinks the three to tie the game. At that point, I knew, all right, these Pacers are going to win. They're just going to win. They look like they want it more. That's the only way I can describe it. They just look like they want it more. If you give an opportunity in a close game, they're going to take it from you.
I'm not going to jump to that conclusion.
I know you're not, because you said they were going to win. You said this wasn't even going to be a series.
Yeah, I think
you said the Thunder were going to win. You were going to sweep. They were going to win in 5 games.
It's still going to be a 5-game series.
Every single game was going to be a blowout.
Let's remember that the very first game of the Nuggets series went very similarly, where the Nuggets hit a buzzer beater to win the game. The Thunder scored 149 points in the next game. This is what's going to happen again.
The Nuggets are not the Pacers.
I know they're better.
No, the Pacers are clearly showing they have something with this team. As I said when we previewed this series, There's just something about being hot at the right moment. They have that factor.
I don't know. They weren't hot for the first 40 minutes of the game where they turned the ball over a bajillion times.
It didn't matter. They still came back and won.
Here's what SGA said after the game. He said they teach you it's a 48-minute game, which again, I kind of thought the Thunder would have learned earlier in the playoffs, maybe by watching the Pacers or by the buzzer beaters that but bit them in the butt, but nevertheless.
Don't give them a chance? That's what they should have learned, but they did.
They are not going to make this mistake again. Certainly not in game 2. I mean, game 2, hold on to your butts. It's going to be out of control, the Thunder. But you know what's crazy, though? This is so unique because we haven't had a game-winning shot this late in the game, 0.3 seconds left, since Michael Jordan in 1997.
In the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It doesn't happen very often in the finals.
No, and Allie, you're predicting that the Pacers are going to do this 3 more times.
I don't know if they'll win this way, but I think that this will be a series that goes 7, and I think the Pacers will win.
Oh, it's, you know what? Tyrese Halliburton, his star is shining.
It is.
Earlier this week, we talked about a situation on a Delta flight. It was delayed in the air. It was circling, waiting to land. And at some point during that waiting period, the crew gave the intercom over to a small child and let her sing Moana songs for the entire plane to hear. I said, this sounds like a waking nightmare. Allie said she was glad that they did this.
I just said it was adorable.
The girl's cute. She's a sweet girl.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be given the intercom on a plane. And now, finally, almost a week later, Delta themselves has addressed the situation. They said, this is their quote from their spokesperson, "We appreciate the customer sharing her talents and apologize to our customers for the delay in their travels." Still no explanation.
Way to make a statement without making one.
Yeah. Can you tell us whose idea it was to hand the intercom over? What in your training of your flight attendants led them to do this?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I wish they would answer that question.
They probably will never address that aspect of it because you don't want to, dog on this 12-year-old girl for singing. But I think they probably will have a future policy in place like, hey, we can't give
customers cannot have the intercom.
They can't have the mic to sing, guys.
Maybe for a marriage proposal.
Yeah.
That's it.
Something quick.
Because somebody said it best in a comment on our video on YouTube, on the RadioU Mornings YouTube channel about this story earlier. Uh-huh. They said, this is Colleen, she says, now that this has been going on, every parent is going to want their kids to start singing when a plane is waiting to land.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you don't want to encourage
all of the moms that
all the pageant moms
believe their baby is a star.
Yeah, you can't have that. And here's another thing I was thinking. This didn't even cross my mind the first time we talked about this, but what if, this girl, they gave her the mic, she's halfway decent. She's not a great singer. She clears her throat into the mic.
Yeah. That was probably due to nervousness,
That's
by
learning.
the way.
Yeah, you got to learn. But my sister did that at a talent show once, too.
Yeah, I
hilarious. We'll never let her forget it.
Yeah.
But what if the girl sucked?
Oh, man, that would have been even worse.
Yeah, you're just trusting whatever flight attendant made this decision, just gave this over, not crossing their mind either that what if this girl's actually horrible and this is going to be super embarrassing for her.
Right. And again, I do think that when you're a child, you can kind of get away with being not as bad or being not as good because people have, we have patience for kids.
Yeah.
If this was an adult,
oh my gosh,
I would have zero patience at all because I know a lot of people were like, why were you so lenient with this and why weren't you critical? I don't have it in me, in all honesty, to be critical of little kids that sing.
Yeah.
Because I was that kid and it would have crushed me if somebody came up and was like, you didn't deserve to sing that.
Most people are like that, though. They're very patient with kids.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there was many folks that getting off the plane.
Told her she was a good
they were like,
singer.
You were wonderful, honey.
Yeah.
But somebody else said it best in the comments. Even if it were a professional singer, I do not want to be subjected to a concert without consent.
Yeah, I saw that comment too. And I get that entirely. But I do think the key point for this whole story is that this was a child, and for the most part, even if we're going to be grumbling about it, we're not going to say something in front of the kid.
No, and it's not and yet again, no disrespect to the child.
No,
it's
she did a great job.
All the other decision makers that decided to give her the intercom.
Right. Hudson, this trend has been taking over my feed recently.
Yeah, your Instagram.
Yes, RadioU 8772 RadioU. Let us know if you've seen this trend. It is a TikTok trend where women try to outrun their police officer significant others, usually like boyfriend, fiance, husband. And I keep seeing these videos everywhere, and it's absolutely hilarious.
What percentage of the time does the woman escape?
Never.
Get away?
Never. I have not seen one time when I saw one time where the police officer fiance fell as he's running after her and still caught her.
Wow.
So, yeah, which if you didn't know, police officers obviously in their test to be a police officer have to run a certain amount of time for, I think, 1.5 miles. They have to get it with less than 12 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So they have to run fast. That's a part of the job.
Right.
But yeah, this trend is killing me.
Yeah. I love it. I do want to see, there's female police officers too.
Yes.
I want to see, because I haven't seen one of these yet, where the woman is the police officer and
running
the guy
after.
and her civilian boyfriend would have to has to outrun her and see how that would go.
Yes,
I think that'd be fun too. But I also find that that you're way slower than any normal adult is way slower than you think.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I've actually noticed that just about people in general lately is that we never run, most people never run.
Right.
And so when you run, you're slower than you think, and you look ridiculous too. You look so dumb if you don't normally run. Yeah.
If you don't know how to run full speed, the form, the technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like some people even that get out and run, jog for exercise, you're still not going ever full speed usually. And so even those people kind of look ridiculous if they have to sprint for some reason.
Oh,
it's just hard to actually look, because normally when you see running, it's in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not how you look when you run.
No, it's in movies, and they stylize it, and also it's
stuntmen.
There's people in shape that look good while they're running. And not everyone does. And
No.
But these videos are really funny because they're also wholesome in some kind of way, because it's adorable to see what happens. But I'll just show for the most part, these are how these videos go. The runner's usually given a head start. And it depends on how much time they give them. Everybody does it a little bit differently.
You're right. It's not a race.
No, it's not a race.
It's not where they have a starting line.
Yeah, they give them a head start. And most of the time what they do is you're standing at the hood of their car. You start running. They get out of the car and start running after you.
Very much like what would happen in live PD or if you any
in an
cop
actual
show.
Foot pursuit for a police officer. And so they get a head start, and then inevitably the officer catches up to the runner and usually play tackles him to the ground or just tags him or whatever. I saw one where this girl was doing quite a good job. She was very in shape, quite a good job at outrunning her police officer husband. I do think he was kind of being a little easy at first, not running fully. But then he realized she was getting away, and so he put it into high gear. Yeah. And she's getting away from him, but she's got a long ponytail. He grabs the ponytail and yanks her back. And it's not he pulled really hard, just a little light tug or whatever. But I was oh my gosh, that's how competitive some of these videos get.
Yeah. Well, I'm convinced I'm never running from a police officer.
Oh, I know it would be bad for me.
Oh, yeah. Feels good, doesn't it? 8772 Radio U to get the news, the notification popping up that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let us know, 8772 Radio U, your level of shock when you saw that come up yesterday.
I mean, I honestly wasn't shocked because I feel like we've seen this coming for like months now.
It's been 70 days since Aaron Rodgers met with the Steelers.
Yeah.
And it's felt like it was a done deal this entire time, but it was never official.
It was never on the books.
I feel like there was some good, I can't remember who said it, but some good explanation as to why. It was like if the Steelers hold off on it, if they each hold off on announcing it, then it actually creates less drama. Because the Steelers can just be like, what? He's not on the team yet. What do you want?
We don't even have to talk about it.
Yeah, so I think that's actually been helpful. And now Aaron Rodgers, according to multiple reports, will be signing with the Steelers pending a physical. He hasn't signed yet. It's going to be sometime this week, in the next week. And then they will be on track to head to the Super Bowl and face off against the Green Bay Packers. I cannot wait. This is, do you understand this, Allie? Mike Tomlin and the Steelers have been finishing above 500 and making the playoffs as long as he's been there.
Yeah.
With crumb bums like Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges and Russell Wilson and Justin Fields at quarterback.
Yeah.
Now they get a 4-time MVP. Hello, this is going to be crazy.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. He is a 4-time MVP, but he's also quite old at this point. But they've had, a track record of working out with old QBs. Ben Roethlisberger was there for years, and they still made the playoffs with him.
Ben Roethlisberger was, by a lot of accounts, like he was a guy who was out of shape. Like he was let's just say, a little tubby for an NFL quarterback.
He was, yes.
And Aaron Rodgers, despite missing an entire year with an Achilles injury, and nobody's going to call him tubby.
No, he still looks like he's in great shape, but, you can't move the same that you always did, and you've had these injuries for the past couple of seasons now, so I think you do need to be a little careful. Coming off an Achilles injury, you need to be careful. But I do think that this was probably the best spot for him to land. It's a 1-year deal, so it's kind of let's see what we can do in a year with Aaron Rodgers on our squad.
Yeah. Hopes should be high in Pittsburgh. I know my hopes are high for my man, Aaron Rodgers. And, people do call him old. I mean, he is. He's 41. He's 41.
That's old for the NFL.
And for some reason, people have this idea that he's washed. When, like, Tom Brady played till he was older, nobody thought Tom Brady was washed. And I don't know. There's no stats that back up that Aaron Rodgers is washed.
Yeah, he's not washed. He hasn't won, the Super Bowl.
Keep in mind, he was on the Jets.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a bit of a difference when we were talking about Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady was still winning the Super Bowl. And so, that's a big deal. Wow. And you can't call any quarterback that wins the Super Bowl washed.
That's all about to change this year. Aaron Rodgers, let me give you some stats here. 63% completion percentage, 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's Aaron Rodgers' stats on the bad Jets last year.
Those are great stats.
And
some of them better than Josh Allen.
I was going to say, let me give you these stats. 67% completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,928 yards passing. Sounds pretty similar, right?
Yeah, Josh Allen.
No, that's Patrick Mahomes, who went to the Super Bowl with Andy Reid and the Chiefs.
It's a little different with the Chiefs.
Yeah, so his stats were the same as Aaron Rodgers on the horrible Jets. So now just wait till you get Aaron Rodgers. Now he's on a team that actually isn't a mess, that isn't chaos. But
also a team that does not get the same calls that the Chiefs do. Let's be real. They're not gonna need him. The Steelers are not gonna need him this year. I cannot wait to see the demolition that Aaron Rodgers will do. I don't think I'm ready for you to be a Steelers fan. I am a Browns fan. This is not going to go well.
Nothing goes well for you. We've got people texting in their favorite fun words to say.
Yep.
Words that just maybe you squeeze into conversation a little more than you should just because you get satisfaction from saying them.
Yes.
Words like indubitably.
Yeah, I love it.
Josh said is his favorite word. I love saying indubitably.
Yeah, that is a great choice.
Indubitably sounds like it's made up, but it's not.
It's not. It's a word you can definitely still use right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't use it. Heard from Regina. She said phenomenon. And also gospel alpha omega funky boogie disco music.
When does that come up?
I feel like that's in a song.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it a Family Force 5 reference?
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think it's older than that.
Oh, really?
This is DC Talk.
Maybe.
It sounds like something they would do. Susanna sent in a lot. She said flagrant.
Yep.
Prospector. I love prospector. I just like picturing prospectors.
Yeah.
I don't even. Do you know how to say it's a country?
Yes.
How do you say it?
Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
Again, when does that even come up?
I guess if you're talking about Guinea-Bissau, it'll come up.
And then she says, one I have trouble with, I say it correctly, but I doubt myself, is food processor.
Interesting.
Why would you, how could you mess that up?
How could you doubt yourself on that?
Yeah. But, good choice. Good choices.
Williams one is one of my favorites. Flim flam.
Oh, yes.
That's great.
I do this all the time when in SpongeBob, I think it's Mr. Krabs goes, what the flim flam? And I do exclaim that from time to time.
Yes, flim flam.
Taylor sent in one that is possibly too hard for even me to say. Numel ultra microscopic silic volcanolosis. I don't think
you're not even close.
I've heard it both ways.
It's a disease.
It's a disease, Taylor says. And Regina clarified on hers, it's a T-Bone album.
That is making sense.
That's a real throwback. Glenn says Balderdash.
Oh, yes. That was a game.
Yeah.
Balderdash.
Balderdash is like, I don't say that, but why not?
Yeah.
When somebody, in Poker Face, when somebody's lying to Charlie Cale, why doesn't she go Balderdash?
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes, I loved that game, and that is a very fun word to say. I'm piggybacking off of Susanna, by the way, because I loved how she picked a country. I always loved to say the French version of Ivory Coast, which is a country in Africa. It's Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
I loved saying that.
I loved cheering for them at soccer.
Oh, they were so good. They had Drogba, who was a great player.
Angela said catamaran.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I don't even know what a catamaran. I know it's
like a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nicole said vittles.
Vittles? I don't know if I've heard of that. Just
it's like
little things.
An old-timey,
little knickknacks.
Probably Southern thing to say for food.
Oh.
It's like, let's get some vittles in you.
Vittles.
Is how I imagine that being used. Benny says chicanery.
Chicane.
What is this chicanery?
Oh, I love it. I love it. These are great.
And I'll tell you, what this also makes me think of is all the Italian brain rot that's like popular on TikTok right now and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think part of why that's popular is because it is fun to say. Tralalero, tralala. Ballerina cappuccina. Bombardillo crocodilo. That's fun to say.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's fun to say. Look it up on Instagram or TikTok. It's millions of views.
I honestly, I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yes, you do.
I don't know if I
do. There's all backstories and everything.
Oh, boy.
You have any others to add on real quick before we do a food fight?
I don't know if I do. I mean, I think there's just so many. And I'm really upset with myself that I don't remember what started this, which was yesterday. You or I said something, and I was like, what a fun word to say. And I wrote down, let's do a break about fun words that are too fun to say.
Down.
And I didn't write the word down.
How about this one? Andre. Haberdashery.
Haberdashery. Yeah, that's a good one.
That
isn't that a hat maker or something like that?
Yeah, some kind of like suits or something like that from the olden days. Oh, language used to be better.
It's just all the old words.
But then also Italian brain rot is very modern.
True.
But those also aren't real words. We have a food fight coming up. Guacamole, Doritos, and Cabo Citrus Mountain Dew.
Guacamole!
Oh, yeah, that's the word.
Guacamole! Yeah. Oh.
It's come full circle.
Yes, it has.
On the menu today, we have not one, but two items to try. The new Mountain Dew Cabo Citrus. And it literally says on the can, the perfect pairing with Doritos. None other than the brand new Guacamole Doritos, which on the bag says the perfect pairing with Mountain Dew. I feel like they're trying to tell us something.
Yes.
So, Allie, what would you like to try first? The Doritos or the Mountain Dew?
I feel like the only natural thing to do is to eat the Dorito first and then have the Mountain Dew to wash it all down.
That makes sense. The Doritos, unmistakably, when you get them out of the bag, you wouldn't mistake these for any other Doritos. They're clearly green.
Yeah, very green.
You know what you're getting into. They smell like guacamole.
Okay, go ahead.
I have that. I think
I'm going to have you try it first. Why are you eating it like that? Oh my goodness. That was the most wild way to eat it I've ever seen.
To keep your fingers clean, you put them in a cup, and then you pour it into your mouth, and then your fingers stay clean.
It's just a little harder to pour the Dorito, isn't it? Because it's a little
bit more than a Cheeto,
shaped.
which is the ideal food to eat out of a cup. It tastes like guacamole. I think it's got that down. It's a Dorito, which means it's not bad. I mean, listen, this is nowhere near some of the all-time Dorito flavors. The spicy sweet chili.
Oh, that was my favorite.
This is not anywhere in that ballpark at all.
But this is still very good.
But still tasty.
I could slap a lot of these right now.
You could go through a lot of this bag. Now we need to wash it down with the Mountain Dew Cabo Citrus, which is supposed to be, I believe it says, natural and artificial tropical citrus punch flavor.
Natural and artificial.
Yeah.
Just in case we want both.
I like that there is some natural something in this.
They're just being honest.
It sure doesn't look natural if you look at the color of it. That's not a natural color.
It is a blood orange. Yeah.
It's supposed to, it says tropical citrus punch. People said tangerine and lime, I think.
Okay.
Is the thinking.
The smell is quite strong. Very citrusy smelling. Take a little swig.
That's one of the better Mountain Dews I've had in a while. Like it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we just ate the Doritos too.
It actually does pair very well.
I think it does, and I think it's like, this is what I don't know if it's because I just had a Dorito or if it's because this is just how this Mountain Dew is. But it's not like wildly sweet or like overpowering flavor.
That's usually what gets me with Mountain Dew is it's way too sweet. And obviously now I drink like diet soda, like a Diet Coke. So I don't drink full sugar, full, calorie soda anyways. But that always turned me off from Mountain Dew. Even when I was drinking regular Coke, it was always just too sweet. It was too much. But this is just right.
No, yeah, I had another sip. I mean, this is gas. This is good. This is good. It is not too much.
Yeah.
And it does pair really well. I mean, honestly, I feel like all Mountain Dew and Doritos probably just pairs pretty well.
Yeah.
You're gaming. You're just hanging out with your bros, your chums at the end of the day. You're throwing down some Mountain Dews and Doritos. You're always going to be happy, and that is true here. You know what? My only regret is, as far as I know, there is no zero version of Mountain Dew Cabo Citrus, and I gotta watch my waistline.
I think when I was looking up to get the graphics ready for today's food fight, which you can find those on our YouTube channel, RadioU Mornings, or also on Facebook. You can see the video version of this food fight. I did see what looked to be a bottle of the Cabo Citrus with like a black label around it instead of the blue.
Okay.
So that made me think it might be a zero version.
I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Because this Mountain Dew, S tier might be a stretch, but like it's one of the better Mountain Dews.
It's the best I've ever had.
And like we said with the Doritos, good, not great, but if you like guacamole, you might like these even more. What if you dipped those in guacamole? Like what?
The chip?
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to say dip the chip in the Mountain Dew.
No. If you just doubled down on guacamole.
I think there's definitely some people that would.
That's a project
yes.
to work on. We've had a good run of food fights here. This is a good one.
I'm happy with this.
Pop quiz. How much jail time do you get for urinating in an opposing baseball team's water cooler?
Oh, I feel like I remember hearing about this story.
Yeah.
Do we have an update?
This happened. There's a 16-year-old high school baseball player in New Mexico. Earlier this year, he got in trouble. He got caught. For some reason, he relieved himself into an opposing high school team's water cooler.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
For some
Horrible.
reason. We all know what it was for.
Uh-huh. And so he's been going through the legal system. This has been playing out. And if you guessed how much jail time, what kind of punishment do you face for urinating in another team's drinking water, the answer is none.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No consequences?
No consequences at all.
Wow.
You get off scot. I mean, he's got to be off the baseball team.
Oh, for sure.
But legally, although he was charged with 15 counts of battery.
That must have been how many of the other players drank it?
I guess so.
Yep.
That's probably it. He was charged with 15 counts of battery. However, the district attorney handling the case decided to drop all charges after discovering that there isn't actually a statute on the books prohibiting what he did. It's not actually a crime to urinate, to
what?
pee in a baseball team's
What?
water cooler.
Well, it needs to be. This needs to be added to the books as like a weird law that we'll look at, 50 years from now. Like, why is that a law? And there's a reason.
Yeah, because one 16-year-old baseball player did it and got away with it.
Yep.
And we're like, we can't let this happen anymore.
You cannot pee in the water cooler. That should be the law.
When you look at the way the law is worded, though, because it's laid out here, he was charged with 15 counts of battery, right?
Yep.
But in New Mexico, battery consists of the unlawful touching of another person in a rude or insolent manner. He didn't touch anybody.
No.
He did not.
He did not.
So, he's off the hook scot-free.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, if you're the type of person that's tempted to engage in this kind of behavior, you're running out of time because at least in New Mexico, because they're about to amend a law.
Oh my gosh.
This should be something that should be even in our partisan times. Should be pretty easy for the lawmakers to agree upon that urinating in drinking water should be against the law.
Yes,
there
absolutely.
needs to be a law against that.
Yeah.
How much? Okay, obviously it's not against the law. He's not getting punished. If you could decide, though, if you were the judge, how much jail time would you give him?
I don't know if I would give him any jail time. I might just be like community service.
Community service,
Yeah.
a lot of hours.
Lots of hours.
Yeah, 100 hours for every person that drank your bodily fluids.
I don't know if I'd do that many, but definitely like at least 100 hours
He needs
total.
to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
He needs to know that because the rest of us know you can't get away with it, or at least we thought you couldn't.
Yeah.
He needs to know that
Yeah, because now he thinks he can.
we don't need a repeat offender here.
No.
If you missed it yesterday, we had former Ohio State running back Master Teague on the show.
Yeah.
That was a big honor, and he didn't beat me up or anything, even though I don't like the Buckeyes.
Even though you told him you were a Buckeye hater,
Yeah.
I was like, why did you say that?
We still, because I don't want to be beating around the bush.
You were really trusting and hoping
Yeah.
in him being a good
Hey,
person, which thank goodness Master is a great guy.
Strong relationships are built on honesty. And I've said so many times how I don't like the Buckeyes here on the show. And what if he had heard that, and then I'm in here trying to pretend and play like, hey, I love the Buckeyes.
You didn't need to pretend like you love the Buckeyes, but you also didn't need to say you hated
What if he had
them.
never heard the show, and then he comes in, blah, 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 and then he hears me today go, I hate the Buckeyes, and this doesn't make me like them anymore, that their coach Ryan Day just said, I feel like the Big Ten deserves 4 automatic qualifiers in the playoff.
What's so wrong
Like,
about
what?
that?
It's wrong. If you're 4th place in a conference, you don't deserve anything.
Well, if you're what?
If you're 4th place in a conference, you don't deserve anything.
He's not saying Ohio State deserves that. He's saying the conference deserves that.
And I don't
They were 4th place in the conference and they won the championship.
You don't deserve. They were 4th place in the conference?
No, I thought you were saying they were 4th place in the conference.
No, I'm saying anybody who finishes 4th place in the conference, I don't care what conference it is, can cry me a river. They don't. With how big the playoff is getting, they may make it in, but they don't deserve to automatically be in.
Yeah.
And I would say that about the SEC or any other conference too. That's ridiculous.
Well, I think he is referring to when it gets updated to 16 teams, which seems inevitable now. So you do have a lot
16
more to work
teams.
with. And you have the 2 biggest conferences probably already getting 4 teams at the bare minimum in. You know, they got, I think the Big Ten, didn't they have 4 teams last, or was it 3?
Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Penn State. Yeah.
So they did have 4. Yeah. So I think at this point, it is pretty likely that at the bare minimum, you're going to see 4, especially when it expands to 16.
Then why do we have to make it automatic?
I don't think you do. I'm not a fan of the automatic qualifier. I'm happy they went to a straight seeding, which is what they're going to do for this season.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of push, particularly from the SEC within the past couple of weeks, or really the last week, saying they want to do the 5+11 model if they go to 16 teams, which would be automatic qualifiers. And now you're hearing from Ryan Day, he wants more automatic qualifiers for one conference. I'm sorry, I do not like that idea at all. I just want it to be straight seeding from beginning to end. Just let it be the most deserving best teams that look the greatest on the field. Let the games matter. Because to me, that takes importance off of some of the games and also importance off of, just playing well throughout your entire season, and not just showing up and winning, getting to win. I mean, you have to play well to get into your conference championship game, but there is a chance for a team that's not as good to win a conference championship game and then get in over a team that deserves it more.
Look what happened this year, right? Everybody was like, Arizona State, they were the last, because there was 5 automatic conference champions. Yeah. Arizona State, they played a good game when they got in, but a lot of people are like, they shouldn't have been in the first place.
Well, I think they should have been in, but not
did they deserve to, like, was there better teams that didn't win their conference that could have been in if there wasn't the 5 rule?
But I think they didn't need to be like a top seed.
Clemson was lower than Arizona State, right? And they were 9-3. Yeah. So the point is that there's teams that are getting in even as the 5 conference championship rule that are getting in at the back end that you're like, does this team really belong in the playoff? And so you might think this past year in the Big Ten, 4 teams definitely deserved it. But if you make this 4 automatic qualifiers the rule, you're going to get a year where there's a 7-5 team that finishes in 4th place. And then they're going to be in the playoff and everybody's going to be like, what are they doing here? Well, it's the rule. It's the automatic qualifier.
Exactly.
We don't need to make it that way.
Right. I don't think it's necessary.
And yet again, if you're finishing 4th place in any conference, you don't deserve anything.
Well, and I think you're probably, even with 16 teams, you're going to see maybe even more than 4 from the SEC and the Big Ten. These are the 2 biggest conferences right now in college football. And so I think there's no need to limit. There's no need to set a limit, and there's no need to set a requirement of how many teams deserve to be in. It's just going to happen naturally.
I'll say this one last thing to Ryan Day. Imagine this. Ohio State wins the Big Ten. 4 automatic qualifiers from the Big Ten. The 4th one is Michigan, and then you have to play them in the playoffs. It's our weekend tradition, the weekend watch list on RadioU. Get your popcorn ready. Get ready to find out which new movies you could be streaming in theaters, watching in theaters this weekend. And let us know what you'll be watching at 8772 RadioU. We'll start with, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas as Eve Macaro. This movie takes place during the events of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, which the film follows Ana de Armas as Eve Macaro, who's beginning her training in the assassin traditions of the Ruska Roma.
Ooh.
It has a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Kyle Smith of the Wall Street Journal says, there isn't much suspense or storytelling craftsmanship present at any point, but at least lots of people and things get broken.
So action-packed.
Yeah. How many John Wick movies have you seen?
I've only seen the first one.
Me too. And I love the first one.
I know. I need to watch the others because I've heard that they honestly get better.
Yeah. I know the third one was pretty well received.
Yeah.
I know Nikki's a huge fan of the John Wick movies.
Really? Okay.
But I feel like she did not like number 2 as much as the first one. I don't remember the third one. This, and then there's the 4th one, right? Okay.
Is there a 4th one?
I don't know.
I didn't even know that.
I think there is. I think there's 4 and now this and a show. I feel like as much as people love John Wick, and people do love John Wick, because this doesn't have John Wick in it, I feel like it's a stretch.
Yeah.
It doesn't have no Keanu Reeves. I feel like it's a stretch.
He's not even in the movie?
I don't think he's in it at all.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
They couldn't even put him in as the cameo.
No, maybe he's in it, but it definitely has Ana de Armas. So
yeah, well, and I do like her a lot. Yeah. I like her roles. I didn't know she was in the John Wick series, so I didn't know they were even planning a spinoff.
If you go see John Wick, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, definitely let us know at 8772 RadioU. Also out this weekend in theaters, The Phoenician Scheme, It's a new Wes Anderson movie.
I've seen so many trailers for this.
It's wealthy businessman Zsa Korda appoints his only daughter, a nun, as sole heir to his estate. As Korda embarks on a new enterprise, they soon become the target of scheming tycoons, foreign terrorists, and determined assassins. The Phoenician Scheme has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's in theaters now. And Kimberly Jones of the Austin Chronicle says, more charitably, The Phoenician Scheme is a palate cleanser, a lovely lark, a spirits lifter.
Oh, really?
That's often how Wes Anderson movies are, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, I feel like for the most part, pretty, they're kind of quirky, you know? That's just how, I mean, Wes Anderson films in a very different way than most movies are filmed. Yeah. So I'm usually not the biggest fan of his, but the cast for this looks really good. And actually the plot for the first time in a Wes Anderson movie is appealing to me. So I might actually try it out.
While some Wes Anderson films are very, very good, for me, I often find I just like the style of them. So they're fun to watch, but they're not good movies.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They have zero plot. It's all, just like
it's dialogue, and the dialogue is fun, but it also is like...
And the way it looks is fun.
But it doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
And I'm not... At the end of the story, I'm like, what was the story?
That's the epitome of Wes Anderson.
Okay. Last one here. Dangerous Animals. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Dangerous Animals is about a shark-obsessed serial killer holds Zephyr, a rebellious surfer, captive on his boat. Racing against time, she must figure out a way to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding of the sharks below. Scary.
Whoa, a serial killer obsessed with sharks?
Yeah, exactly.
Very strange.
Yeah, it has a 84% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Jeez, all these movies critics scores are so high.
Very kind these days. Mark Kennedy of the Associated Press says, taut and well-crafted, a worthy birthday present to Jaws, celebrating its 50th anniversary this summer.
Okay, that's nuts.
So it sounds like kind of a horror thriller kind of movie.
I might be interested in this.
Very well reviewed, but like we just pointed out, the critics seem to be very well reviewing just about everything.
I do like Jai Courtney, and apparently it looks like he's playing the serial killer.
I think that may be the case. Well... That's your weekend watch. Let us know what you get out and see this weekend at 8772 Radio U. And we'll see you at the movies. The search is off in Wisconsin. Going back earlier this year in March, a pesky little otter made an escape from the Green Bay New Zoo and Adventure Park. And it's been missing ever since.
Oh, really?
But now the search is off. They've given up.
It's two otters. Louie and Ophelia.
They did capture Ophelia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's caught. She's back.
Back home.
But Louie, they say, he's been more elusive, and so they have no sightings, no nothing. And I guess he didn't stick around with Ophelia. They didn't join together. They split up after they escaped. And so at this point, it's been almost 3 entire months since Louie escaped. And so they say they're giving up. They say that he's made the decision to be wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or made the decision to be dead.
Thank you for saying that. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but he's definitely dead, right?
I feel like that's probably more likely,
There's no chance. They say, the quotes don't make it sound like he got away. The quotes make it sound like he was eaten or something.
Yeah.
It says, at no point during his time away has Louie been spotted and reported to us. He repeatedly in the same yard or waterway, which is what would have been required to set traps to bring him home. We did, however, receive enough reports of sightings in similar areas that lead us to believe that he is healthy and surviving well.
So people have seen him?
People have seen otters.
I was going to say, how can you prove that it's Louie?
I don't know. Is there a lot of other otters in Wisconsin?
I have no idea what the otter population in Wisconsin is.
I don't think. I don't want to be pessimistic here, but I don't think he's alive.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think he made the decision to die.
I think he might be dead, guys. That's so sad because otters are so cute.
I know, and I want him to be out and alive. Especially, I love the story of an animal escaping a zoo and
to be wild
and getting to be wild. But he didn't know how good he had it in that zoo either. There's no like eagles hunting him or hawks or whatever else would be in. I don't know, snakes.
I don't know what the main predators for otters are, but I would imagine eagles is probably one of them.
He had like a little warm shelter he could just go into, food and as much as he needed.
They did say Louis was born in the wild. So he always wanted to go back, probably.
Yeah, that's right. And if it was a movie, like, he deserves it. But this is real life.
This is real life.
Yeah.
I know that they are choosing to believe he is okay, but
You're telling everybody that.
I'm sorry, guys. It's more than likely he's not.
And hello, can we take a second for the zoo? How did you let your otters escape? I know they're mischievous.
They have a fifth digit?
They might. They are very crafty.
They are. And slippery.
You didn't know that? You're a zoo.
Right.
Come on. Get it together. Be careful which restaurants you leave a 1-star review for on Yelp. You never know when they might sue you for it.
What?
8772 Radio U. This just happened in Florida. And text us, by the way, 8772 Radio U. How many 1-star reviews have you left in your life? I'm curious, because I've only left a few negative in my life.
I don't think I've ever left a 1-star review.
It has to be so bad for me to do that.
I know.
Or I just have to be so annoyed. But I've done it a few times.
For me to leave a review, I have to have had like something extraordinary happen. I'm not regularly just going to leave a review, you know?
Yeah,
I just don't think to do it.
I'm not there's some people that just review everything always.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person that usually, out of my reviews, I probably have left 5 and 4 are 1 star, because why would I review otherwise? But here's the story out of Florida, where a individual went to a place called Hale's Black Brick, which is in Tampa, Florida. They left a 1-star review, and here's what they said. Probably it's a 1-star review, but probably will return. It starts off. One of the better fusion restaurants I've been to in Florida, but the meat quality is subpar. Also, the eggplant and mushrooms were wonderful. The tiger shrimp was very tasty and succulent, but the coffee was lukewarm. The spare ribs were so-so, and the Hawaiian prime ribs were, quote, the worst, way too much fat. And also noted that one of the people that she dined with said the fried rice was greasy.
Okay, I can't stand people like this. I'm sorry.
That break it down way too much?
I can't stand
So you think she deserved to be sued by the restaurant?
I didn't say that. But I personally cannot get on the same level as someone like this who's just going to like nitpick about everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care enough to nitpick this much.
I think she was if she just changed the stars, everything would be fine.
I agree with you.
Because she said some things were good. She said you would come back.
I don't think her review makes sense for 1 star.
Yeah.
You don't give a 1 star to a place you're going back to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you cannot, that doesn't make any sense to me. But this is, the reason that she covered so many bases is apparently this person is a blogger and is the type of person that leaves a lot of reviews.
And this is why I can't stand them.
So the restaurant saw this and said that her review was abusive, disrespectful, and arrogant. They sent her, which sounds kind of like what you just said, Allie.
Well, I didn't say it was abusive, but I definitely do think it came off as a little conceited.
The owner of the restaurant sent her a cease and desist letter and filed a defamation lawsuit against her.
Whoa!
Yelp added an alert to the restaurant page that said the business may have tried to abuse the legal system in an effort to stifle free speech, which feels accurate.
I was going to say, that is an extreme response to this review.
Yeah.
Which had positive bits to it.
Yeah.
Again, I think her review, as far as like making sense, it doesn't. It's very nonsensical to leave a review with like positives and negatives and put a 1 star.
It's funny.
But you don't deserve this response from the restaurant because of this.
It's funny though, because if I saw this review, I would consider it helpful too if she hadn't marked it 1 star, because it doesn't sound like a 1-star experience.
It doesn't make sense
based on what you
with
said.
what you said, with how many stars you left.
But it does sound helpful. But so the lawsuit's been thrown out by the judge.
Sure, of course. This is ridiculous.
But it's annoying that she even had to go through this. And this tells me, and I think I've mentioned this before, if I see a restaurant, like there's occasionally I look at reviews for restaurants a lot if I've never been to them. And if I see the owner responding to the negative reviews.
Yeah,
in
like
an
a
angry manner.
really
And not sorry, that was your
passive-aggressive.
experience. Come back, we'll
Yeah.
give you a free meal or whatever, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. If it's not a nice response and it's like, you just don't know what good barbecue is,
Right.
then I'm never going to that
Exactly.
restaurant.
It's a bad
Get
look
me out
for
of there.
you and your restaurant. I'm sorry. The number one rule of customer service is the customer is always right, even when they don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they're saying something that sounds ridiculous, they are always right. And that's just the way business works.
Especially on the review site after they've already left and
Yeah.
you already got their
and
money.
already paid for their meal.
Yeah.
They paid you to eat there.
I give this restaurant 1 star for how they handled this, and I give the woman reviewer, I give her 1 star for accurately rating with stars.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.